This week, one of our big focuses is figurative language. And figurative language is just when we have a word or phrase that doesn't have its normal everyday literal meaning. And I know that's a lot to unpack, but just see if you can come up with a word or phrase that doesn't mean what it actually says. Can you think of anything? You're probably like, no. All right, so let's talk about it. Here's an example for you. A piece of cake. I have said it in class before. Maybe mom or dad has said this before. Maybe you've seen it or heard it on a movie before. So if I have the phrase a piece of cake, the literal meaning is what it actually means. Okay, so if I was taking the literal meaning of something, I just want what it actually means. So if I am talking about a piece of cake, the literal meaning is that you or somebody else has a piece of cake. That's what it literally means. But figuratively, the figurative meaning is that something was really easy to complete. So if you said that that test was a piece of cake or mowing the yard was a piece of cake, the figurative meaning is that it was really easy. But I don't mean in this instance that I'm talking about a piece of cake. I'm talking about something being easy. So again, the literal meaning is what it actually means. The figurative meaning is like a hidden meaning that it has. So if I go back here, it's a word or phrase that doesn't have its normal everyday literal meaning. Okay, so I can have two different meanings for it, but figuratively, it just means that something was really easy to complete. Okay, that being said, we have a whole bunch of different types of figurative language, but I'm only going to focus on one, and that one is down here, idioms. So I have similes. These are a comparison that uses like or as. So the pillow was light as a feather. I use as, so I'm comparing the pillow and a feather. So I'm comparing two different things, the pillow and the feather, and I'm saying that it was super light because it was light as a feather. Okay, then we have metaphors. Metaphors are also comparisons, but these don't use like or as. So I'm saying she is a rising star. I don't literally mean she is a star that is going up. I mean that she is going to be really talented and she's going to become famous one day, maybe. Okay, then we also have personification. And personification is when you give something that's not a human, human-like qualities. So, or animal. So here's an example. So the wind howled at night. I don't literally mean that the wind howled last night. I just mean that the wind was really loud last night. That's what that means. So I'm giving the wind human-like or animal-like qualities. So I'm saying that it howled. It didn't literally howl, but it was so loud that it probably sounded like a howl. So I'm saying that it howled at night. That's the figurative meaning. Okay? Then we have imagery. When you think of imagery, think of eyes and think of you being able to literally see it in your mind. So when I think of imagery, I think of visualizing. So an example would be the fresh and juicy lemonade is very cold and sweet. So I'm literally putting a picture in your head about fresh and juicy lemonade that's really cold and sweet. So that's imagery. And then today, we're really going to hit idioms hard. And idioms are just a type of figurative language. They're pretty easy, to be honest with you, once you get the hang of it. So an example is that assignment was a piece of cake. I don't literally mean that assignment was eating a piece of cake. I mean that the assignment was really. All right, so our big focus is idioms. And remember, idioms are just one type of figurative language. These are just sayings that we can have in figurative language. It's just one saying, even though I have tons of examples. So an idiom has a different meaning than what it literally says. So some examples. The first one I gave you was a piece of cake. I don't literally mean that it was a piece of cake. I mean that it was really easy. Another one you might or might not have heard is to get cold feet. You hear this maybe when you have a performance or a lot when people are getting married. When you get cold feet, it doesn't literally mean that your feet are cold. It means that you're getting nervous. And that's kind of normal. Another one, I say this sometimes, sick as a dog. I don't literally mean you're sick like a dog. Sick as a dog just means that you're really, really sick. Some other examples are break a leg. If you have a performance or maybe you have a game or something like that, somebody might tell you to break a leg. They don't literally mean for you to break your leg or break somebody else's leg. They mean for you to just have good luck. Break a leg means good luck without saying good luck. Another one that I say kind of sometimes, I guess, is mile a minute. So you can say somebody's talking a mile a minute. They don't literally mean they talk a mile a minute. They mean that they talk really, really, really fast. So those are some other examples of figurative language. Now we're going to talk about why we use it, because you're probably like, okay, why do I have to learn this? We use it for a couple different reasons. Number one is to make comparisons. So the first comparison that I made was that your assignment was the equivalent to cake. I don't literally mean that your assignment is cake. I mean that your assignment is easy, like a piece of cake. Okay, so like a piece of cake literally means I have a piece of cake, but the figurative meaning would be it's really easy. Then another reason why we use it is to make your writing more interesting. So instead of just being boring and have a story about a boy who was a wizard and he went to a wizarding school, add those pieces of figurative language in it, and it makes it more interesting, especially when you know the meaning behind them. Another reason is to paint a clearer picture in the reader's mind. When I hear a piece of cake, I literally think of a piece of cake. That's not what they're talking about, but you see where I'm coming from. It makes it more interesting and easy to read.